Should you tell a guy that you like them? So as I've talked about on my channel before, my videos are maybe not like the norm, because I kind of say that guys should approach you, and a lot of dating advice out there seems to be the contrary, especially from male dating coaches. They're always saying to approach guys, etc. So anyway, let's get into my lockdown love story. So if those of you don't know, if you can't tell by my voice, I actually live in the UK. And in the UK, the lockdown rules have been quite strict. And since January, they have made them like even stricter. At the moment, you're only really allowed to leave the house for food, or if it's an emergency, you're not allowed to kind of see anyone, etc. I feel it feels a bit awkward me sitting here and saying if he's not asking you out, he's not interested, because for the simple reason guys can't ask people out at the moment. Like, we've got nothing's open, no pubs, no bars, no restaurants, no clubs, and you're not allowed to literally mix with anyone outside your household. But anyway, back into my lockdown love situation. So before we had the first lockdown, and then we kind of had a little reprieve in the summer where you could go and you could meet people again, and they relaxed the rules, etc. So during this time I went on a date with this person. And we got on really well, and seemed to be a spark between us, and the feeling kind of seems to be mutual. And I don't know about you, but do you know when you go on a date with someone and you kind of get really excited and you're like, oh, this could actually go somewhere? And you try and not get too excited about it, because you're like, it's only been one day. But I kind of had a nice feeling about this person. The feeling seemed to be mutual, so we went on the day, and as I said, I didn't initiate after the day. I kind of sat back, and he texted me the next day. So I kind of took that as a sign, as we both liked each other and it was mutual. And then we arranged the second date, so I was really excited. So on the first date I went to his town. On the second date he agreed to come to my town, which is like still relatively near each other. So we arranged a second date. But what happened before the second date, I didn't feel very well. So I was honest with him, and I was like, I'm really sorry, I want to meet you, but we keep it real on this channel. I was like, I'm really sorry, I've got really bad period cramps. Can we just rearrange the date? Because I just really don't feel well. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, we'll rearrange it. I'm going on holiday, but I'll text you back when I come back from holiday and we'll arrange something then. So I was like, okay, that's fine. He's going on holiday, I'll just sit back and wait. And I was like, well, he's on his holiday, so I don't want to be a psycho and text him while he's on his holiday, because we've only been on one date. So I kind of sat back, I was like, okay. And then a week goes by, and I was like, well, he should have come back from his holiday by now. Like, surely he would have texted me by now to like rearrange a second date. And then I waited. And then 2 weeks went by. In my head, I was like, well, 2 weeks have gone by. He hasn't texted me. He's not interested. That's where I should have left it there. That's where I should have been like, he's not rearranging the second date. I kind of thought, I don't know, maybe he thinks that I didn't like him because I cancelled the second date. And I was like, well, maybe he kind of thinks that I'm not interested because I cancelled the second date. But I generally didn't feel well. It was just one of those things. I reached out to him again and wanted another date. And the response he gave me blew my mind. This has not happened to me. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen people say, oh, he's not interested or whatever, he's in a coma or something, he hasn't texted you back. This guy had actually left the country. That's never happened to me before, where I go on a date with someone and I've heard of he's just not into you. I've never heard he's just left the fucking country. So this guy was like, I'm really sorry, I don't live in the UK anymore, I live in Paris. And I was just in my head, just like, what the fuck? You live in Paris now? And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not saying his name or anything, but that's his story. And basically he was in Paris. And we were kind of still communicating. And as I say, on this channel, I want people to learn from my mistakes. And part of the reason I was mentioning lockdown is because obviously in lockdown, we can't meet people. I haven't got my usual points of kind of meeting with friends, etc., meeting family. So I was kind of in that situation of feeling a bit needy. So I kind of went against my rules and I was still communicating with him, even though I knew we couldn't like go on a date because it was like long distance. But we kind of got chatting to each other because he was like, I'm coming back to the UK. First it was going to be November, and he kept pushing back the date he was coming back. And it got to the stage and I was just like, in December time, I can't, like, in my head I was like, I can't keep talking to this guy anymore and it going nowhere. So basically I just told him how I felt. So 3 years of doing an English degree, you think I would have been able to string something together that was maybe a bit more eloquent than what I actually came out with. So I just told him, I like you, and then I did monkey face, smiley face, kiss emoji. And I always say on my channel not to tell people how you feel, but in this moment it kind of felt right to kind of tell him how I felt. And I guess all the feelings were kind of brewing over the time, and I was like, look, I really like you. Like, can we meet up again when you get back to the UK? I haven't really heard anything back since from him. I guess why I'm making this video is so that I'm accountable for this, and I can see it's on my channel, and it's a constant reminder not to go back to that guy when I need validation, when I'm feeling a bit lonely, because I know I've put this video out and I know that I've kind of revealed my feelings basically. And it's a constant reminder to not go back to that guy when I'm feeling low. I put myself out there and I told this guy how I felt. And I think to answer the question, should you tell a guy how you feel? And I think from personal experience, when I've always told a guy how I've felt, or when I've been dating a guy and I've been the first person to breach the do you want to be exclusive kind of chat, I've always got the same response, which has always been negative. It's always been me pushing for something that isn't naturally going to happen. I've never had it where I've kind of stepped forward first and been the person that's like, do you want this? Do you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend? When I've put myself in that situation, trying to make something happen, I've always come back with like a negative kind of response, and it hasn't happened. And part of me is like, well, at least I've put myself out there. At least I've told him how I feel. And I think now I've just have to accept that it's not reciprocated. It's not all his fault because they've shut the borders in France and he physically can't get back to the UK. So it's not, I'm not saying it's completely his fault at all. If I relate this back to like general terms, if you're trying to get a guy to like you, trying to get a guy to go out on dates with you, trying to manipulate a guy, it's just not going to work. The whole momentum of a relationship, it has to come from the guy, and it does annoy me because I want to sit here and to say that it's equal, that we live in an equal society and males and females can do what they want. But from personal experience, if you try and push a guy into something, you just come against resistance, and the guy can feel this like resistance energy of you wanting something, and if he's not ready or not at that stage, he's just going to pull back. All I see when I do this in my personal life is guys will pull back. If I want something and they're not there, or they don't want it, even though they may like me. The trouble is, as soon as you tell a guy you like them, it automatically gives them the power, and it gives them the upper hand, and it puts you on the back foot. And it puts you on the back foot where you've given all your power away to a guy, and then he can do what he wants with that power. And it's very unusual that a guy will, once you say how you feel, it's very unusual for a guy to reciprocate on that, because he doesn't feel like the man in that instance. And for guys to fall in love, they need to feel like the man, they need to feel like the pursuer, they need to feel that they are choosing the woman that they want to be with. And I guess because of lockdown, etc., I was feeling that neediness of wanting someone, wanting the validation of someone to be there. And revealing that I liked someone, it just blew back in my face basically, and he didn't feel the same. Rejection is never easy for anyone to get over. It still hurts when you're rejected when you're 18 or when you're like 33 like I am now. Like, rejection still hurts. Like, you don't really get over it with age. But I think you get over it quicker. I don't know, I almost feel like a sense of freedom now. I feel like a sense of freedom of, I've kind of put myself out there. And it's really weird, like this past week I hadn't been thinking about him at all. It's almost as if I've kind of cleansed and like purged all that energy and got rid of that kind of wanting this person, because I just thought I've put my feelings out there, they haven't been reciprocated.